Hello, ni hao, ni hao. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create a high-quality WeChat article by showing you how we do it at my marketing agency. My name is Tate Lawton. Most of my YouTube videos are about Chinese cultural trends being discussed online in China. Some of my videos, like this one, are about practical marketing advice. I'll make it understandable for everybody, even if you aren't a marketing pro. By the end, you should know if you want to write WeChat articles on your own and have a sense of how to do it yourself or hire someone to do it. So why would you listen to me? My team and I have been using WeChat since the week it was created. We create entire novels worth of content each month for a range of clients, mostly service businesses and schools. Usually we help companies enter the Chinese market. In the case of Genie, which I'm going to show you later in the video, we took over an existing account, which gives us a chance to compare the original results with the results of the WeChat articles we created. The WeChat articles we created got 40% more views, 60% more likes, and in some cases 180% more likes. Our bar for quality is very high. The articles that we create need to meet these criteria. Be useful to the reader, be easy to absorb, follow Chinese advertising law, or the whole WeChat account could be shut down, fit the global brand of the business, and then finally, some articles are designed to persuade readers to perform some action, such as to meet with a sales representative or make a purchase. Now, first I'll explain the team and then I'll explain the process. Feel free to jump ahead to any part that you want. A great team should have at least two people, a writer and a manager/leader. Let's talk about the writer first. And I don't mean Tim from your engineering department who happens to speak Chinese and already has full-time work responsibilities. I mean somebody that's a strong writer and communicator. I'm going to give you the actual criteria on the screen and in the description, but I'll sum it up here. But the key thing to keep in mind is that people on the internet can choose to spend their time to do anything. So you need somebody that is competitive at creating content, competitive enough to get those potential future customers of yours to actually read and absorb the content. These are some key things that they need. They need a few years of relevant work experience, a bachelor's degree or higher. They need some experience promoting service businesses or schools for our case, because that's what we work in, although not necessarily experience with the specific vertical in question. They can learn that and they can get that information from other places, which we're going to show later on. They need strong writing skills. They need a keen market insight, which means they need to be able to understand the target market. They need to understand China. They need to know who they're writing for, because everything that is written or created for the internet is a conversation between at least two people, and they need to be able to understand who that person they're talking to really is. They should have a little bit of skills in design, not to be able to redesign something, redefine the colors for a brand, but to be able to take those colors and brand guidelines and such and use them in the WeChat articles, because we often insert images and graphs and such into the articles. They also need to be able to communicate with the team, since our company is working with global businesses, and you probably are too since you're watching this English video. That means that the person writing the Chinese articles for WeChat needs to be good at speaking English too, needs to be good at working with teams. They need to also be good at learning, picking up new concepts, learning how to use the various technologies in the company, etc. With these factors in mind, for every 100 applications that we get for full-time employees, we will do 4 to 6 interviews, and we'll hire one person from that if we're lucky. Maybe not even 1 out of 100, maybe 0. The specific article that I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes is written by somebody named Ivy, and she met all this criteria. Remember, this video is about what goes into creating one article, and we're going to get to that soon. But believe me, these fundamentals are very essential, because if you have the wrong writer, everything is going to be very hard to get done. Some of the experience Ivy has is she has study abroad experience in an English-speaking country. She received a master's degree in media and public relations from University of Leicester in England. And she has work experience in tourism, e-commerce, and journalism. She used to write for Nanjing Daily, which is a newspaper online media from China. And next, you're going to need a manager or a leader. These people might go by the name of marketing manager or director of marketing, APAC. In small businesses, it might be the founders of the business. They're the leaders of the project, and they have expertise in their business, customers, and services. While they might not know their Chinese customers yet, they need to know their customers in other countries. An example of a great manager is our contact on this project. Her name is Grace. She works with external vendors like us and people working in Genie to set targets and get results. If you've worked in a large organization before, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you just need to appreciate a couple things. There are multiple departments involved, each with different needs. And a marketing agency like mine, even if we do much of their Chinese marketing, is just one piece for her to manage. So even if you think this video about creating one WeChat article is complex, just keep in mind that there's a whole marketing campaign going on with WeChat, Baidu, Little Red Book, other platforms, websites, with salespeople. There's lots going on and lots to keep organized. That's why you need this manager or leader, not just a writer. Now that the team is in place, it's time to talk about the WeChat article creation process. We live by a motto in Nanjing Marketing Group. It goes 探索、创新、发现, or explore, create, discover. This process repeats over and over again, and as we do it, we just get better and better at whatever we're doing. We're always testing, always gathering feedback from the market, from the analytics, from comments, etc., and improving. Let's talk about the explore part first. In fact, let's talk about the very beginning exploration as if this is a new project. Before any content is created, the manager and writer make sure to have a plan in place. We keep a condensed plan in a Google Doc format. Even if we're just starting a project, we need to make sure that the people involved have just taken what's in their brain and put it down on a page for each other to share. This is just marketing 101, but believe me, teams mess this up all the time and they get out of sync because they have different objectives or they don't understand what's going on. Everybody that's involved in the marketing, whether it's just this two-person team I'm talking about or usually a much broader team, needs to know some basic things like what the offer is, what the goal is, who we're targeting, who the competition is, how to position the brand, and what kind of restraints we have in terms of budget and time. Sometimes we create a content calendar with content for the next 3 months all laid out. Personally, I prefer to create a list with many ideas, but not specific dates for each idea because we're going to adjust feedback as we go. Now, I'll explain the creation phase. Let's zoom in on one article. In English, the title is Summer Maintenance During the Hottest Days. How should you maintain your Genie aerial work equipment? And in Chinese, the title's just a bit better. You lose something in translation. Ivy, the writer, prepared this article in August 2023, which is traditionally known as the Sanfu period in China. Basically, it's the dog days of summer. She chose the topic because when it gets so hot in China, heat is on everybody's mind. The article could be both practical and emotionally appealing. Then she searched on platforms like Baidu, WeChat, and Little Red Book for common concerns and problems that equipment might face in high temperatures. This wasn't actually her first article for Genie, so she has existing knowledge in her brain to use too. And she also talked to somebody at Genie to gather relevant information. So we need to get the information from multiple places. We usually don't get it just from one English language article that was created. Then Ivy planned out the beats of the article. That means the main points. This included the intro and the pain points for maintenance. Then she wrote the article, and I can't really give a point-by-point instruction on how to write, but the resulting article did go according to her plan in this case. Then she created the images, and I'll detail that in more soon. The article flowed from one step to the next very nicely. The intro naturally led to the idea that equipment, like people, needs heat prevention and cooling and careful maintenance in high temperature weather. Then the main bulk of the article was about the maintenance pain points, such as inadequate protection leading to mechanical failures, resulting in decreased rental rates and high repair costs. For each of these pain points, there are steps for equipment maintenance. Plus, there are photos of Genie engineers inspecting equipment, making it easier to comprehend. In the final summary paragraph, the article mentioned that Genie offers comprehensive maintenance services, giving users peace of mind. Now, how are the images created? We need to create images both for the WeChat article cover and inside the WeChat article itself. You'll notice there are a lot of images inside the article, right? We use a variety of software like Photoshop, Chuankit, and Canva. We also use Midjourney occasionally. Many tools are integrating AI features now, so this work is changing frequently lately. We create or adapt images based on materials and design guidelines provided by the client. We're not trying to reinvent the design. We're trying to use their global design. In this example, the small engineer figure and the aerial work platform illustration in the bottom left screenshot are materials provided by Genie. The moon and mobile phone style images in the other picture were drawn by us. Then after the article is created, it needs to be reviewed. We usually do this in Google Docs, and there's usually multiple people involved in the review, including 1 or 2 from our side and 1 from the client side. But to repeat, for this example, we're just stating that we only really need 2 people, right? The manager and the writer. The manager I mentioned earlier could engage in the review to make sure the content is right. What we also do is we also have somebody like a peer or a content marketing manager review the content and use it as an opportunity to further train the writer. Once the article is edited and approved, we publish it. We often choose to release the articles on the same time and day each week. How long does this whole process take? Like how many man hours? From initial creation to revisions, layout, and final publication, the process usually takes about 8 to 10 hours. For projects that we've just taken on, it can stretch to 10 to 15 hours because we need more time to understand the client's products, services, and unique advantages. The timeline is usually about a week or 2 weeks to create a full article, and that's just because there is back and forth communication coming between the writer and the manager or the people involved. Finally, we enter the discover phase. Remember, the circular process goes explore, create, discover. It's essential to do this regularly because this is what drives iterative improvement. And iterative improvement compounds over time. So we'll just get better and better at creating the articles, at running the marketing, and the company that we're promoting should also be responding to market feedback to make their products or services better. First, we'll check how the article is doing 1 day after published. If the open rate is weak, we may change the title to help improve it. Then at the end of the month, we'll do an overall review of all the marketing for the campaign, including WeChat articles, other content, advertising, etc. For WeChat articles, we look at the open rate, read-through rate, and whether the article inspired readers to take an action, and comments from users as well. Okay, so the open rate means how many people saw it and clicked on it. The read-through rate means how far did they get into the article. We can get that data too. Now, not every article is meant to drive an action. A lot of the articles are just meant to provide value to the users. But if the article is meant to drive an action, then we want to monitor that, right? Did it make sales like we want, or did it generate leads like we want? What were the actual results? Finally, for comments, we always want to read comments from users and take that feedback into account to help improve the business. We make sure to share this data with everybody involved. If it's just the writer and the manager, then the writer needs to convey this market feedback to the manager so that they can coordinate better and decide what it is that they need to do next. After we've reviewed everything, we jump back into the explore phase. Now, this explore, create, discover process repeats over and over again, and with each article, we get better. After reviewing a content for a certain month, a common thing we might do is to adjust the upcoming content. Maybe we change the priorities in upcoming content, or adjust some of the ideas, or come up with new ideas. We should be flexible and respond to the market feedback as we go forward. So what are the benefits of this whole process, this whole long process for creating great WeChat articles? Basically, as you do this, your number of followers is going to increase and things will start getting easier for the business. The business sales will go up and the sales process will become easier. A lot of these benefits are soft, like you can't measure them very much. You're just going to find that other things getting easier. If you're running an ad campaign on Baidu, somehow the results are going to get better, right? It's because the people landing through that ad campaign will also have access to more information and data on your WeChat account. Or it's because the salespeople that are talking to those people also have access to that data. So things will just get easier and better as you go forward. Investing in content marketing of any type, whether it's WeChat or something, is not just a monthly expense. It is an investment that you make in order to build up the assets over time. Those assets are your followers and the content that you create and your brand. I hope I introduced this in a way that is useful for you. Please leave a comment if you have any questions. See you later.